Being a money expert, I've always prided myself on knowing the ins and outs of budgeting, saving, and building wealth. But here I am sharing something I never thought I'd have to say, but I'm in debt. I think it's important to be real about this because money isn't always a straight path, even when you know what you're doing. Life happens, and sometimes even the best of us slip up. So I'm here sharing my story, not only to hold myself accountable, but to let you know that it's okay to face setbacks, no matter where you are in your financial journey. This past year has been one of the toughest I've faced, with personal losses, family responsibilities, and a huge shift in my relationship status. I found myself looking for ways to treat myself. I told myself, you only live once, and that I deserved to use my money for a bit of joy. I kind of felt like it was a way to cope with all the life stress, was to treat myself. So spending money became my way of adding something positive to my debt, even though it was temporary. And while some of it was comforting in the moment, I can see now just how much of it was just a way to cover up how I was feeling. If I'm honest, my biggest regret in spending has definitely been on clothes. Over the past year, I've gone through cycles of losing weight, then gaining it back and just feeling uncomfortable in my own skin. I'd throw out clothes that didn't fit anymore, and then I'd buy new ones in the hope that it will make me feel more comfortable. The truth is, no piece of clothing will change the way that you feel about yourself. And now I look at my wardrobe that's filled with clothes that I don't even wear and realize that I was just trying to buy comfort and confidence, which are things that you can't really get from a shopping spree. The reality of my debt hit hard when I looked at my savings and I realised I don't have enough in savings to cover my credit card debt. All year I've been dipping into my savings to justify my spending as just a treat for myself for a tough year. But now I've got no safety net, and I've got a few big expenses that I was saving for, and now it's all gone. So now I'm kind of in a moment of panic where I've made commitments, but I've spent all that money on crap. And so for the first time, I haven't got a way to fix it. I've run out of options. When I look back now, I realise just how much that I'd convinced myself that the spending was justified. I kept saying it was self-care or embracing my freedom or living life to the fullest. And while I don't regret spending on the experiences and memories, I do regret spending on the endless stuff. The things that are now cluttering up my house, the clothes that are now cluttering up my wardrobe, because they don't add any value to my life. It's a reminder that while experiences can be meaningful, buying more things rarely brings me the same satisfaction. Over the past few months, I've started digging deeper into my values. I've created a worksheet to help me clearly define what's most important to me. It's been eye-opening in my life. I can see now that a lot of my spending did not align with those values. I was investing in things that didn't actually bring me closer to what matters most. So going forward, I plan to revisit this values worksheet every 6 months and reflect, because life changes and spending should be aligned with what matters most to you and reflect those changes in life. Now, my goal is to make sure that my hard-earned cash only goes to things that resonate with me. For me, financial independence has always been key, but over the past year, I've lost sight of that. Now, I'm refocusing my spending on my priorities, not what ads, social media, or society say that I want. I know that I don't need the latest car, bigger home, or the latest gadget to feel fulfilled. But I also know how difficult it is when they're being forced down your throat every 2 seconds, and how hard it is to resist, and how once you open up and delve in and buy something, for me personally, the floodgates open and here we are. So now I'm refocusing my spending on my priorities and not what the ads, social media, or society say I want. I don't need the latest trends, a flashier car, or a bigger home to feel fulfilled. It's about reclaiming control over my finances and making choices that reflect my priorities and support my own values, rather than trying to keep up with anybody else's. One of the biggest realizations that I've had in the last few days is that no amount of clothes will make you feel good if you don't feel good on the inside. I kept buying new outfits thinking that they'd give me confidence, but the truth is, it doesn't work that way. Real confidence comes from how we feel in our own skin, not from what we wear. I hope that's a lesson that will stay with me for long after I've repaid this debt. So now I've acknowledged that I've fucked up and I've got a mountain of credit card debt. What am I going to do moving forward? So number one, I'm now doing monthly financial reviews. I use my Ultimate Wealth Planner every month to track all of my spending, which, if I'm being honest, tracking your spending is so much more important than budgeting. Because budgeting is looking forward. You could budget mystical numbers, it doesn't matter. But tracking your spending has actually happened. You have actually spent £2,000 on clothes last month. You've done that. That's your accountability. It's more real. So track my finances. I do budget. I also track my net worth, which I've been doing this for over a year now. It is incredible to see the numbers change. So from my monthly reviews, it only takes about half an hour tops to track all your spending and have a general overview of where all your money is, so you can make the best decisions for yourself. And that's personally how I'm going to get myself out of debt, build up my investment portfolio even more, and hopefully retire early. I'm also going to dive into few financial challenges just for myself. So my first one is, can I live for a month off £100 to buy all my food and anything outside of bills, that direct debit bills? Can I live for a month on £100? Hopefully this will reset my value for money. I'm also dedicated to a no spend year. Absolutely no spend on any new clothes, no spend on Amazon, minimal spend on anything that is not in my values. I think these challenges will keep me motivated, and I'll be documenting them. I'll share what I learn with them along the way. This journey into debt has also made me realize that I have a all or nothing mentality, especially when it comes to spending and diet. When I mess up, I tend to go all in, telling myself that I'll just start afresh next week, on Monday or next month, instead of acknowledging I've messed up and then getting right back on track. But real growth comes from self-forgiveness and getting back on track immediately, instead of waiting for the perfect moment. I now know that that is something that I need to work on that will make my life easier. I think it's important to say that financial struggles are universal. Even those of us that teach money management can have financial setbacks. Finances are a journey, and just like our investments, our own habits and behaviors are volatile. Whether you're in a finance field or not, and you're feeling embarrassed about your financial mistakes, just know that you're not alone. We're all learning, adapting, and figuring it all out as we go. So looking forward, I'm adjusting my financial goals. I'm slowing down my investment plan and putting more emphasis on aligning my spending with my values. I'm also learning to be kinder to myself when I mess up, because if last year has taught me anything, it's that setbacks are part of life, and what matters is how we bounce back from them and the lessons we can carry forward.